I've decided to do this. I hope it's not stupid. I can't quite figure out how to do it live, which is probably just as well. So, anyway, I thought that I would do a little reading. One of these days I will figure out how to do it live. But I thought I would start out with a novella that I did for the Sweet and Sassy anthology. It's called A Savage Ghost, and it's set in northern Washington. It's kind of a fun idea, fun to me anyway. It's about a family who inherited a castle in northern Washington. An ancestor of theirs, 150 years ago, had made a bunch of money and decided to bring over a castle, his ancestral castle from Ireland. So they disassembled it and they brought it over and reassembled it in, like I said, northern Washington. It's an area that I've always wanted to do something more with. Oh, by the way, they ended up bringing a ghost when they brought the castle. But because they disassembled it, it created some problems, and so he didn't manifest right away. Anyway, I'm going to try reading. I will put out the disclaimer that I don't do Irish accents, but I will give it my best. This is A Savage Ghost, Chapter 1. Hugh concentrated on the haze that should be the main hearth and willed it to come into focus. Nothing changed at first, but then the fireplace sharpened. His shoulders relaxed. At last, after struggling for so long, enough of his sense had returned, and some of his power. Too little of his power. How long had it been? Only on rare occasions that he could recall had he interacted with people in this new place. He attempted to run his diaphanous hand along the mantel, frustrated when it passed through. Staring hard, Hugh grasped the single wooden-framed picture resting on it. The small portrait lifted into the air. He crowed, for once not caring that such a sound was beneath his dignity. A gasp from behind startled him, and his hand turned translucent again. Without substance, his fingers lost their grip. The picture crashed to the hearth and shattered. Livid, he spun, refocusing his energy. He fueled his will with anger, and for the first time in a very long time, felt his body take form. The gray-haired woman gave a satisfying shriek before covering her mouth with her hands. "Remove yourself from my home at once," he commanded, his voice low and menacing. He kicked a piece of broken frame, and it flew toward her. With a cry, the servant ducked and ran from the room. Hugh straightened. The ghostly cape of his Irish regimental uniform turned back to the fireplace. More memories returned as he traced the mantel with his fingers. They had disassembled his home. With every stone they had carried away, it had been as though bits of him disappeared, until he was no more than a single thought, drifting and lost. Tied always to the castle. How long had he been trapped in that purgatory state? Neither heaven nor hell, neither here nor there, away from all that he had left of his dear little Moira. He ran his hand along the mantel again, searching for the pattern. His breath caught. It was not there. Frantic, he felt his way along the stonework again. Nothing. What had they done with it? Hugh howled his rage. And here we change points of view. Leaning my head against the minivan window, I tried to block out the sound of my younger brothers in the seat in front of me. I loved the little punks, but after 2 days, stuck in the car with their video game debates, I wanted to strangle one of them, or both of them. I gnawed on one of my only remaining fingernails. "Leah, you're doing it again." Ezra reached over with his foot and nudged mine with it. I glared at my twin from the corner of my eye, but quit biting the nail. "What is it now?" he asked. I shifted in the seat to face him, a snarky answer on my lips. Before I said anything, though, he raised a hand and signaled for me to keep my voice down. Well, he raised it as high as he could with a sleeping 7-year-old sister leaning against his arm. Would serve him right if she drooled all over the open laptop before him. Why can't we feel the same about this move?" I hissed. "That's right, just say it out loud." Ezra's whisper turned into his teasing, mocking tone. "You've only ranted about it, 100 times already?" I turned away, stung. For the almost 20 years of our lives, he'd always been my balance, helping me keep things in perspective. But he could be a royal pain, too, especially with his brutal honesty. And I'm going to leave that little snippet right there. This is actually part of the Teapots and Treachery collection. I'm planning to bring the people and this little community of A Savage Ghost into my Safe Harbor series. There was a hint of it in a swing vote. Olivia mentions a place in northern Washington where there's a castle, and there's going to be a wedding there. But I'm also toying with the thought of writing a cozy mystery series. It may not fit as a cozy mystery, but it will be a mystery series, so we'll see. Like I said, I'm toying with the thought. And anyway, I'd like to set it in this little community that this family inherited. So if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. Thanks for listening.